What is going on, people? Welcome back to the channel. Today we're going to be finally getting around to reacting to The Violent Sleep of Reason by Meshuggah. Before we go any further, lads, I'd just like to quickly announce that this video is in fact sponsored by me. I am reigniting the Patreon, and before anyone starts disliking the video, it is important that I stress the fact that the content on YouTube is not going to change because this Patreon is going live. That is the main thing I want to stress, because some people will instantly think, oh well, I'm not going to be able to watch the same kind of content anymore. The content you're getting right now, the format, full album reactions, are still going to be uploaded to YouTube. The only difference is Patreon members and supporters of the channel will be getting access to the videos 48 hours early, so 2 days earlier. In addition to that bonus is you will be able to vote on the next albums we do. I've got a lot of requests coming in. I'm going to put some on screen that I have coming up over the next few months, so if you do want to get involved, you'll also get access to the polls where you can vote on which albums we do next. But that is definitely the main thing I'd like to stress from the sponsor segment, is that the content on YouTube will not change whatsoever. So I appreciate you guys understanding, and that's enough of the promo stuff. Let's just get right back into the video. Okay, so next up is The Violent Sleep of Reason, lads, and I have been excited to get back into Meshuggah. It's always a fun time. We've got a massive Meshuggah following on the channel, and I'm going to see them live in 11 days as of recording this. Today is the 22nd, so it's Sunday. I'm going to see them on the 1st of June, which is a Wednesday, so that's going to be in Dublin. If you guys are going to that, please do let me know in the comment section down below. I might see you there. But a little bit about the album before we get into it is, it's noteworthy that the album was recorded live, which basically means that all band members performed the tunes together in the studio and recorded everything directly. This gives the album an organic and punchy feel. Especially Jens's voice was mostly untouched and one take. This makes the vocals sound very raw compared to their more robotic feel in other albums. You can hear every little flaw or crack, which is super brutal. I loved hearing those authentic fluctuations of the voice. He also went for deeper screams. Star of the album is Hake, though. His drumming is so stellar all the way through. Definitely their heaviest album, sonically an absolute crusher. The only track I believe and remember listening on this album too is Clockworks, and it was back when I was an absolute noob when it came to anything like Meshuggah, polyrhythm, gent, anything under that Meshuggah category. So it's going to be interesting to tackle this album again and listen to Clockworks. To be honest, it's probably like essentially a first reaction because it's been so long since I've heard that track. But without any further ado, lads, we're going to jump in. Please do drop a like on this video if you haven't already. Make sure you're subscribed to the YouTube channel. And yeah, let's go. Okay, let's go. I don't remember Clockworks being so long. 7 minutes. I'm going to quickly pause. I'm thinking back to when I would have heard this first, and my God, I think it must be over 2 years since I actually first heard this, and even now I'm struggling with the rhythm of it. So I can only imagine, like, I don't even really want to go back and watch that video because I'll just cringe watching it. But like, this would have been a tall task for someone very new to metal to listen to. Like, because even right now I'm like, whoa, this is a lot. Very brutal. I understand the description being very brutal, and it does, you know, really spring to mind when I'm hearing this. It's far removed from some of the groovier tracks that I really love from them, but you can hear how fucking crazy the polyrhythms and stuff are. It's a lot going on. I'm trying to like get the right rhythm to it, and I'm just losing everything. So yeah, I might have to pay a visit back to my Clockworks reaction at some point. That might make a fun video to go back and watch some of my older Meshuggah reaction videos. Not that I've like come to be a master at finding the rhythms and stuff quick by any stretch of the imagination, but it might be an interesting one to go back and just for the cringe and the lols and the memes, and just to see how far I've come. But yeah, we'll continue going. This is a lot to try and move to, so. Once I found the rhythm, it's so hypnotizing. I'm completely lost again. That is a challenging song. I swear to God, that's one of the hardest songs to find any rhythm to that I've heard from Meshuggah. I found myself going between the hi-hat and the snare. Okay, I'm going to bring that back because this has been something that I've noticed in the last two videos I've done, is people suggesting that I do something a little bit different with the audio. And I think this is a good point to bring up because it kind of just happened there again. So obviously, first time reaction. I know this isn't a first time reaction because technically I heard this track like 2 years ago, but that was the last time I would have heard it. So I don't actually remember the, you know, the nuance of it and the small segments of it that you need to be quiet for. But I think one thing, and I take the criticism on board, and I absolutely want to make the best visual and audible experience for people. So I seen a comment on the last video that was basically saying something along the lines of, can you either pause the video when you want to speak, or don't have the music duck my voice when I'm speaking when the song is playing. So for example, just there, like I seen on the timer, there's about like 20 seconds left, 25 seconds left. So in my head, I'm kind of assuming that the track is pretty much over and it's kind of just going into the outro segment. But you know, in classic Meshuggah style, very unpredictable. They drop a massive breakdown or even just a, you know, a massive change in atmosphere into the song with very little time left. And I happen to speak over that. Now I understand when you guys are listening to that, I can hear it full volume on my earphones, but for the sake of the recording, I've tried to make it so that when I speak, obviously the mic, you know, ducks the audio. So, or I think I said that wrong. Anyway, you get what I'm trying to say. So when I speak, the volume lowers down is what I'm trying to say. So to you guys, when you're watching it back, there might be a massive drop that cuts the audio down. And then I realize, oh shit, I'm after speaking over that segment. The only problem is, and I understand that in an ideal world that wouldn't happen, but if I haven't heard the song before, I don't know when these moments are coming up. So it's very hard for me to know when to speak over something. So I see both sides of the coin. Some people are just like, we want to be able to hear the whole album without any interruptions, which I do get the argument, but at the same time, it's a reaction video. And if you do actually just genuinely just want to listen to the entire track by itself, then by all means, go and listen to the album. You know, you get where I'm kind of come from. Like, what's the point of a reaction video if someone's not going to speak over it? But the counter to that from someone watching side is that just pause it. But at the same time, I think that can kind of break the flow of a video as well. So that right there was actually a good example. So I think overall, what I'm trying to get at is, could people just give me ultimate feedback on, do they prefer to have the audio completely cut out? So when I speak, the audio just turns off. Do they prefer it to stay the same level? Because I'll have to almost like raise my voice if I don't have the levels being ducked all the time. So at the moment, I feel like it's at a nice area where when I speak, it's cutting it off. I know some people will argue, well, just like don't speak at all when the track is playing. But at the same time, I kind of disagree with that because it's a reaction video and you're supposed to just give your thoughts throughout, you know, hence the reason it's called a reaction video and people watch it. But I think that's a good point to bring up. So if you guys could give me some feedback on that, let me know. But in saying that, I will obviously do my best going forward to avoid speaking maybe at the end of tracks, because I've been caught out with that a good few times now. It happened a few times on the Thornhill album reaction where I was kind of speaking at the end of a track and it's breaking down. But again, people think I'm doing it intentionally. Like, if I haven't heard the track before, I don't know these moments are coming. So I can't predict that it's going to happen. I can't know when to speak and when not to speak. So I'm going to bring it back. If I ever do that again, I'll try and bring the track, you know, that segment back. But I'd like if everyone could be a little bit more understanding as well, that I haven't heard these tracks before. So I don't know these moments are coming. So yeah, but we'll play it again. That is crushing. But yeah, like, I mean, something like that, there was 25 seconds left in the track and they hit us with that. I'm not sure if I've heard this one.
We
is the Meshuggah I like. Yeah, this is as raw as Meshuggah have sounded, in my opinion, from what I've heard anyway. I was just a bit conscious of the microphone maybe picking up me breathing, so I'm just moving it slightly away from me. That's a proper haunting outro. And I'm doing it again. I'm speaking over the outro. I'm so sorry, but it just always feels appropriate. Even this bar here just sounds so gritty or something. Now I can kind of see why people were so surprised by the inclusion of what felt like so much more bass in the Immutable album. Like, this sounds so thinned out, like just all guitars, all raw drums. What the fuck does that word mean? Cozenz's his songwriting is always so, like, there's nothing surface level about it. You kind of have to really look at it and pay attention to it, which is always quite hard to do when there's so much grooves and shit going on, and like these crazy guitar solos I'm listening to right now. Like almost everything he says is metaphorical. I'm a little bit... I feel a little bit lost listening to this. It's probably their most challenging album that I've heard so far. And I'm pretty sure that was the general consensus, that this is quite a challenging album. It's so raw and there's just so much going on. Like, nothing has really jumped out to me yet as being like, oh yeah, this is playlist straight away, to be honest. Born in Distance is probably the closest we've gotten to something like that so far, but everything else has been kind of like, okay, like I've definitely heard better Meshuggah tracks. You can really hear how raw it is by their hands sliding up and down the fretboard. You can just hear it so prominently in this. Best track on the album so far. Best track on the album so far. 100%. I've never even seen this track being recommended in the comments before, ever. And it's somehow the best track I've heard from Meshuggah on the Violent Sleep of Reason album. And we've already done 2 tracks that are quite big. Like Clockworks is a massively popular track. And then Born in Distance is as well. Monstrosity is definitely a track that I would have seen in the comments before, but literally never seen this come up once. Now, that's not to suggest that it hasn't come up, but from my own experience, seeing my comment section, that was one of the most unique segments from Meshuggah that I've heard. Like, let's go back to that. I really like that. Oh, it's so unpredictable. This is Meshuggah at their best. Unpredictability, but still groovy somehow. Like, I have no idea why or how I'm grooving to it, but I'm somehow getting it. Well, in my opinion. Oh, that is so fucking heavy. That's the best track on the album so far. Not much else to say on that, to be honest, but this is the title track, The Violent Sleep of Reason. Let's go. Like, overall, a little bit underwhelmed so far, other than that track, to be honest. I feel like I've just taken 15 steps back with my metal progress and understanding different rhythms and stuff like that. This feels like I've just gone back to day one with Meshuggah. We've had a few albums back to back and a few, you know, reactions that I've done for Meshuggah where I felt like I've been progressing over time, but this one is challenging. I don't know if that's the general consensus, that this is one of their more challenging albums, but I am struggling with this one, I'm not going to lie. There is certain parts of it that remind me of the Meshuggah that I love, but then the other parts I'm like, I need a lot more time to try and figure this out, because I know people are going to say, Drew, give it time, you're just not really there yet, which I understand, but I really feel like I'm just not there yet with this. Like, this is so much going on. I'm sure it will sound absolutely huge live when they play these kind of tracks live, and you just kind of sit there in awe just at the spectacle, but Jesus, I am struggling here, I'm not going to lie. This is like a fucking math lesson. Kind of reminds me of Entrapment from Cat 33, this segment there. But like with no real obvious groove pattern. know I'm struggling when I'm not even speaking. I don't even, like... You need a fucking physics degree to headbang to this. I don't even care. Like, this sounds so good, but I just can't figure it out. Please don't take me being silent as any indication of what I think of this album. That sounded absolutely huge, but I just am absolutely clueless as to what's going on. It's been a while since I've been this quiet in a video. Trying to take all this in. I'm just going to remain silent until I actually know what the fuck is going on. Otherwise, I'm just going to be talking pure shit. This is a humbling musical experience. I thought I had it all figured out. I spoke over that part, so I'm going to bring it back. What the fuck? That sounded huge. was actually completely zoned out there, I'm not gonna lie. That I found that little bit of a rhythm there and I just kind of zoned away and then completely caught me off guard. God, see, I know how good that is, but I just feel like I'm so behind. I feel like I'm a proper noob right now. This feels like the final boss of Meshuggah albums. Like, I thought I had it all figured out. I thought I knew all the rhythms. I was like, oh, I finally found the groove. And then I hit this. And now I'm just like, oh, well, back to the drawing board. Like, this has left me completely paralyzed. I'm gonna have to go back and watch my first reaction to Clockworks, because this album has just sent me fucking west. I am absolutely lost for words here. Lads, I don't know what to say. It would be ridiculous of me to even leave an input because I just don't understand what's going on. I'm blown away. I'm humbled. This is like the anti first time listening to Meshuggah album. Like for any newcomers that you're trying to get into Meshuggah, do not show them this because they will run for the hills. And that's coming from someone who's been listening to them for 2 years. Why am I disappointed in myself? Like I genuinely am like listening to a song, I'm like, oh my god, I actually don't get what's going on here. But it's a testament to how fucking talented these guys are, man. The guitars in this sound huge. Like individually every instrument and the vocals and everything sounds so good, but just all together I'm just so lost. most complex piece of work I have actually ever listened to. I'm not even joking. This is so far beyond my scope of understanding. I feel like an absolute noob to the genre. Like, it has all the hallmarks of the Meshuggah that I have come to know and love, but it feels like they've taken all the parts that I love about Meshuggah and put it into a blender and just thrown it and just made an album of it. I can't figure it out. Maybe I'll come around to it, but right now I'm absolutely clueless. Okay. I felt like I was a part of a whack-a-mole game there, where I was the hammer and I was trying to land on each dodge. I was like, whip, 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 whip. Yeah, this is probably the most accessible track on the album so far. I can actually somewhat understand what's going on. It is my favorite on the album. I mean, it goes without saying, I'm an absolute groove merchant, so anything that I can just properly groove to is always going to get me, and that's just something I feel like has been missing in this album, which is why I've just been kind of silent. I've just been like, I don't even know what to say. Okay, so yeah, favorite track on the album so far. It only took about 9 attempts to figure out a rhythm, but yeah, I don't know. I'm gonna need to listen to this once or twice on my own just to even figure out if I do even like it or not. I'm just so bamboozled by the whole thing. That's a lot of distortion. I don't know, lads. I am not fucking with this album at all.
Found in place, and from
it is a really conflicting one, because like I said earlier on, like all the individual parts, but like listen to Jens right now, he sounds absolutely unbelievable. There's so much passion, and it's probably the rawest I've heard him sound. And like even listening to the guitars right now, it's just massive, but I think altogether it just doesn't really click with me at all. Like nothing has really excited me about this. This feels like an album I'd have to I'll probably only appreciate in a few years time, when I've kind of gotten to that point in metal where I just know exactly what I'm looking for, you know. I think when you're gonna get to a level where you're sick and tired of the kind of more straightforward metal tracks, this is when you start to turn to tracks like this, you know, albums like this where you're like mind blown by it. Yeah, like, I mean, it actually feels like I'm actually disappointed that I don't like it, you know what I mean? I feel like I'm like, oh, do I even want to put this video out right now? Yeah, I mean, like, I gotta be honest, I'm actually disappointed after coming out. Not because I didn't like it, you know? It's more just because I feel like when I don't necessarily fuck with an album that's been requested quite a lot, it feels somewhat, not a waste of a video, but I feel like, oh, I wish I had been more up for this video, or I would have been able to, you know, because obviously it's a lot of fun to like edit a video and put out a video that I've really fucked with. Like, for example, the last video I did with Thornhill and the Dark Pool, like that was an absolute treat to listen to upload, to edit, you know, to spend hours upon hours editing it, days if not editing, and then uploading it, because I know that people are going to reciprocate, you know, the energy that I had in that video in the comment section, and people are going to be like, oh, it's great to see that Drew loved it. But when people are like really attached to certain albums, and then you come around and like, again, I'm not shitting on it because I love Meshuggah, and like I said, again, I'm going to see them in 11 days, but it's not a disappointment that I don't like the album. I've not liked certain tracks from them before, like big deal, I don't give a fuck. I've listened to albums before that I've just not liked at all. It's more just because I know this has been so requested, and I feel like, oh god, I just feel like I didn't really offer anything in the video because I just didn't know what the fuck was going on. But I suppose that is a reaction in itself. Maybe it will make people who have become so accustomed to how technical this album is, maybe it will kind of make it sink in with them again, because I genuinely thought that I haven't got everything figured out metal wise, but I definitely felt like I've come a long way in the sense that before I would listen to, you know, something like this and been like, oh, I just don't even get it. And that's the way I would have listened to a lot of metal tracks before. And I kind of thought that I've come full circle, you know, and well, no, I feel like I've come full circle now. I'm back to the start, because I feel like I genuinely don't have a clue. But I suppose, again, that just really highlights how technical these guys are and how fucking talented they are. But at the same time, that doesn't necessarily mean that it's an album that I'd like to listen to very often. When I think back to albums like Obzen, and when that was obviously a lot earlier in my my metal reaction journey, whatever you want to call it. And that was a lot more accessible, whereas this just still feels like I'm miles off even being close to properly, like there's just no real appeal to it. I can get how unbelievably huge the sound is, and it probably will absolutely melt me if I hear a track like that live, but that's a live scenario. Live scenarios are completely different to just wanting to listen to that in my own time. I don't really see myself going back to that anytime soon. There's just too many good projects, too many good bands out there. And even Meshuggah themselves, they've got too many good tracks, too many good albums to be returning to something like that. And again, that could just be a short-term opinion, you know, who knows, in the near future I might come around to it. Maybe I'll hear a few of these tracks live and be like, oh yeah, I can see why. But then again, everything is just steering me back towards these tracks sound like they would be massive live, but from a musical and song standpoint, I just don't know how much that appeals to me. But yeah, let me know your thoughts, guys. I don't know how this video is going to be received, because I feel like I didn't really offer much. I like to think that in most videos I offer quite a lot by, you know, inputting my own comments, pausing the video where necessary. You know, I feel like my reactions can be entertaining sometimes, but I just feel like with this I'm disappointed in the sense that I just didn't even know what to say. I was so lost by what was going on. But then again, look, I'm overthinking it. If you guys did enjoy the video, please do drop a like. Obviously, just fill me in on anything, maybe like with your experience with this album. Did it take a while for you to click? Because I would imagine this is one of their most technical albums. I don't know. Let me know, guys, because a lot of their albums just seem a lot more accessible than this, and this one really threw me. So yeah, it'll be interesting to see what the response is on this video. Criticism is always welcome. Trust me on that. And guys, yeah, I don't really know what else to say. Thank you so much for watching. Make sure you're sub to the channel, and hopefully with the next few albums we do, it is a little bit more accessible to me and I can click with a little bit more. But yeah, look, that's honesty, guys. I'd rather be honest than, you know, just completely lie about, because let's be honest, it'd be written all over my face. If I'm assuming you could tell by my face that I probably wasn't fucking with it or just didn't know what was going on. So if I was to turn around and be like, oh yeah, favorite album ever, it's just exhausting to be like that. So yeah, that's my honest thoughts, guys. But yeah, I'll catch you in the next video. Look after yourselves. Cheers.